So on this side is
It's
the
clear.
clean water
Yeah,
for
clean water.
the city of Winnipeg, and
Yeah.
on this side is what?
The water that comes to the community for us.
And what's the quality of this water like?
I wouldn't swim in this water. Look at the color there.
So the water we're sitting on top of right now is destined for the city of Winnipeg.
Right now, yeah. Yeah.
And they're gonna drink this.
Yep.
And it's gonna be clean.
Yep.
Shoal Lake 40 is an isolated First Nations community that sits on the Manitoba-Ontario border, about an hour's drive from Winnipeg. The community hasn't had clean tap water to drink for 17 years, but is surrounded by water that is treated and cleaned for the city of Winnipeg. The lake water is separated based on its destination. The Winnipeg water goes to a treatment plant and then onto the city. Water meant for Shoal Lake 40 goes straight to the taps. Shoal Lake 40 is isolated from the mainland. There is no overland way to get anything on or off the island, even garbage. They rely on bottled water delivered from Ontario. Shoal Lake 40 is one of 169 First Nations across Canada who do not have access to clean drinking water. We just landed in the area that Winnipeg expropriated from Shoal Lake 40. They took this land so that they could build the water intake facility that actually takes the water from the lake and distributes it to the city of Winnipeg. You know, this is land that used to belong to Shoal Lake 40. So what does that sign say?
City of Winnipeg, private property, no trespassing.
Do you guys joke a lot about that, about how you're trespassing on what was Shoal Lake 40 land?
Yeah, of course, because I don't even consider it trespassing, and everybody, it's our home. I still consider it my home. It's just being occupied.
Why do you stay at Shoal Lake 40?
This is where my ancestors lived. This is where we settled when we moved here, and it's always been home. I can't imagine living anywhere else, and like I said, we're tied to this land. We're tied to the lake. We're tied to the resources. You know, it's part of our history. It's part of our life.
In 1914, the city of Winnipeg moved the people of Shoal Lake 40 from their traditional land onto a peninsula that they then made into an island by building a 135-kilometer aqueduct to divert swampy water away from Winnipeg's intake pipe.
We can see the bottom of the lake when I was a child. Now you look down there, you can't see it. It's just, you know, when you suck up 60 million gallons of water a day from Shoal Lake, which in turn, it brings in all kinds of contaminants, I guess, and has deteriorated over the years.
Can you tell me how is water getting into the community right now?
Well, right now, it's trucked in from Kenora on a weekly basis. We spend roughly $150,000 a year just for water alone.
Shoal Lake 40 spends $1,000 per person on imported bottled water and barge costs every year. By contrast, the city of Winnipeg spends about a third of that, $300 per person, for water from Shoal Lake. Winnipeg's operating budget is almost 1,000 times greater than Shoal Lake 40's.
That's not including all the other access costs, like the barge ferry that we solely depend on during the summer months. It's $120,000 a year, operate and maintain that, and that's deteriorating as we speak.
It broke down earlier this year.
Yeah, it broke down this spring.
An aging barge is the sole lifeline to food and water the reserve has in the summer. Whenever it breaks down, a state of emergency is declared. The water freezes in the winter, and residents drive or walk across the 1-kilometer crossing, but they are trapped in the island in the fall and spring when the ice is too thin to drive on, but too solid to boat through. 9 people in a community of 250 residents have died from falling through the ice or drowning. What was it like when there was a state of emergency declared and the ferry was down? What was it like delivering the water around then?
Yeah, it was pretty hard that day.
Oh, it's a lot of jugs, 400 jugs. Takes me all day to bring the jugs across.
You use your own truck to deliver water?
Yeah.
What happens if you need to make repairs? Does anyone pay for that?
No, I gotta pay for my own.
So the whole community is relying on your 2 trucks
Yeah,
to get water to them,
yeah.
to get clean water. Chief Irwin Red Sky has made a Western Bridge and Access Road, what he calls Freedom Road, a priority. The road would connect Shoal Lake 40 to the Trans-Canada Highway 20 minutes away. Red Sky believes that with year-round access, the cost of construction on Shoal Lake 40 would go down, and they would be able to afford a water treatment plant. As it stands, all building materials and construction equipment come onto the island on a single barge that only runs for part of the day. With a road, they would be able to truck the materials needed for a plant directly onto the reserve, putting the cost of building a plant within reach. The road will cost about $30 million. Manitoba and Winnipeg have each agreed to pay a third of the cost, but the federal government has yet to commit the remaining $10 million. The First Nation has begun the construction of the service road and temporary bridge that will be replaced with Freedom Road once they have the funds to build it. Construction will take 3 years. And you've been pushing for this for quite a while. Your dad pushed for this before you, for an access road to the west. What's the backup plan? What's plan 2 if you don't get this road?
There's no other plan. There's no plan B. I think the community decided that there's no way out of here but west. And we're pretty determined. We're building it one way or another, with or without the support of any other government. You know, we're building this road. It's a matter of survival for my community. And we're just trying to catch up to the rest of the communities in this area and across Canada. You know, just basic access to our homes, safe access. Maybe by bringing a road in, maybe we can afford a water treatment plant, and maybe we can have hope for some sort of economic development in the future for the young ones. So we're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for hope for the youth. So that's what we're doing.
We asked Aboriginal Affairs for a response about the access road that you want to build, and they said that they offered a water treatment plant that could be shared between Shoal Lake 39 and Shoal Lake 40. Is there a reason that you didn't accept that offer?
For us, we are an independent community. I think we deserve our own road access, our own water treatment plants, our own schools. Yeah, we want our own infrastructure, not to depend on anybody else.
What was it like growing up on Shoal Lake 40?
Kind of tough. I don't mind it though. Still like the fact that we're still drinking out of bottled waters. It'd be nice to have our own treatment plant. I know I tried that one time. I got sick.
Really? You drank the water without boiling it?
Yeah, I was thirsty, so I was like, doesn't hurt. I regret it. I paid for it in the end.
What happened to you?
Oh, I just got stomach flu or whatever, and I really twisted up.
Dak, I heard that you're working on Freedom Road. What specifically are you doing?
Just labor work, pretty much.
Does it mean something to you to be working on Freedom Road?
Oh yeah. Well, as a kid there, we had this Walk for Freedom Road, and I was one of the original walkers, and I was just like a kid, like 12, 13 years old. We walked from the train tracks here all the way to Winnipeg. It took us 4 days, 3 nights, camping on the side of the road.
What message were you trying to get across?
Just to let the world know that what our struggle is, what we go through on a daily basis.
Nijubanashik?
Nijubanasik.
Nijubanasik.
That's 2 Thunderbirds. That's my name.
2 Thunderbirds. So why did you have to leave?
Pretty much just to go to school, because there's no high school here. It's either drop out or move away.
I'm wondering what it's like when you go to a bigger city or another community and they have clean water that comes out of the tap. So what was that like for you to find out that other communities had that?
I used to feel really angry and started thinking about who I was, and I was like, why did I felt like being a Native person was kind of like a curse on me. Like, I always wish, like, what if I was born a white person, because they had everything easier. I noticed going to school, you don't have to leave your parents, and especially with the water too. It's like, you know, it's a luxury. That's what I was always thinking. My family's been through a lot too, like from being isolated and having no road, and my mom was one of the people that lost their lives trying to go across, and I believe it was in a canoe, and I believe she capsized and drowned that night, and one of my cousins found her the next day. And then the last time I saw her was like, because I told her to go away because I needed a break. And that was the last time I saw her. So I feel really guilty about that. I think about it all the time. Because if I didn't tell her to go away, she probably would still be here, you know? And I just don't want anybody else to have to go through what I've been through and what my family has been through, and my children don't have a grandmother.
I'm on my way to a dedication to Freedom Road, where the city of Winnipeg cut the community off from the mainland 100 years ago. The federal government's going to make a big announcement. There's tons of media there. The province is there. The deputy mayor is there. So we're going to see what happens.
It's been 100 years. This can be the turning point of our relationship with Canada, the city of Winnipeg, and the provinces. If I can get the shovel here, we're going to officially start construction of Freedom Road. Let's everybody do like this. Let the construction begin. All right.
I'm pleased to be representing the Government of Canada to announce that the Government of Canada will invest $1 million in support of the design, not the study, not the proposal, but the technical design of the Freedom Road. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're the MP for the region. How long have you known about Shoal Lake 40's conditions? There are kids behind you asking for a commitment today to Freedom Road. What do you say to them?
My children are here today too. This is part of our community, and we're happy to be here to celebrate with the community. So thank
They're
you.
asking
Folks,
you for a
I have no
commitment.
further comments. So.
Our people need an answer today. Our people deserve an answer today. These little ones, they need an answer.
To be clear, didn't the federal government already commit to that design study? Or was that re-announcing what they'd said before?
Basically, this was last year's news, and we celebrated that last year, and I was hoping the minister would come with something new, maybe something more positive towards a commitment to build, but unfortunately not today.
You said you're going to push forward no matter what, and you're going to build it no matter what. Where are you going to get the money for that?
Just constantly working. You know, we got elders and youth full of energy to want to build it. We're continually building it, and it's being built as we speak today. We'll get there.
As a boy, I thought we were going to get a treatment plant and stuff, but politics, I guess, like when we get people into the office, they don't do much change. Like they do a bunch of broken promises. Like, we promised you this, we promised you that, and then when they get in, it never comes through, it never happens.
An online fundraiser for Shoal Lake 40 closed over $9.9 million short of its goal. All of the money was returned to donors. After a federal election was called in August 2015, both the NDP and Liberal parties promised to fund Freedom Road if elected. The road would bring down the cost of construction and enable Shoal Lake 40 to make plans for a water treatment plant. Residents maintain that the road will be built, with or without the federal government.